How's it going, guys? This is Runtime Air, and I'm gonna do a quick video on market structure. Uh, the reason why is because a lot of people, everyone can see the market goes up and down, but people don't understand that there's actually a structure to it, and what goes up must come down. Every market where there's buys and sells, there will always be some sort of, you know, buy that sends it up and a sell that sends it down. It always basically it's kind of the whole thought of with every force there's an equal to opposite force. So in order for the market to go up or down, you either have to buy more than what's being sold or sell more than what's being bought. That's the only way the market's going to move. And then there's also liquidity and other things. But the main point of this video is to talk about market structure, trying to put it together and understand the whole pattern that you see in the market, in which you'll start to hear me start to say different things. Like you'll hear me say, instead of structure, you'll hear me say pattern, because that's how I comprehend the market. I look at different patterns. I see when the pattern breaks down, which is also understanding of break of structure. So when you hear me say change of pattern, that is a break of structure. So you'll hear me use it interchangeably, and it's not necessarily right, but at the same exact time, it's a pattern. I'm seeing the patterns, and then I see where the pattern breaks down, and then I make an based on analysis. You can make a educated guess for the most efficient sniper spot. And when I mean by sniper spot, that low point where you can get in and basically get the most of your profits on the way up. This is a new account for me, so my plan actually to do, as you can see, there's no money in this account. Is actually going to be where I'm going to be practicing some different strategies that I've been practicing and honing and refining for a month or two now, but basically doing a lot of research on that. So that's where you will not see any money in this. But at the same exact time, I'm going to do on demand, and we're gonna go do on demand, and I'm gonna go ahead and remove my drawings as well. Great drawings. We're gonna call this. All right. We're gonna go ahead and do that. You guys see some of the stuff I was doing with something else, but yeah. All right, so this is a playback feature that's in Action Thinkorswim, which is actually pretty cool, which is helping me be able to backtest different things and basically go to any coin or anything that I want that I don't have a clue about to see if my strategy works, and basically get percentages on wins and losses, and basically really refine and hone the strategy that I've been working on for some time. It's basically a strategy that's mixed with a whole bunch of different strategies I put together, but that's another story. All right, we're going to talk about market structure here. Market structure. As I scroll this through, you can ultimately see the market is going up and down and then up and then down. So let's just mark out the basics of this. We're in a 4-hour view right now, and 90 days. We're going to move this back to 180 days. So now we have 180 days. This is 4 hours, but you know what? Let's go ahead and start. This is ultimately understood as top-down analysis, kind of what I'm doing here, but let's pull this back out to 1 year and 1 day. So now we've got each one of these bars represents a day, is what we have now, and basically 180 days goes to here. So when you're looking at the market, you can basically see exactly kind of what it's doing. You can see a trend of it going upwards and so forth like that, but the market doesn't just go, from here straight up. As you can see, if I put a line right here, putting a line right here, you can see that the market's clearly going up. The price is here at 0.96 and it goes all the way up to 1.9. So you see it's going up, but you also can see that it's not going perfectly straight up. And since it's not perfectly going straight up, there's different things that happens in the market which builds the structure of the market. As we know, it goes up and down, up and down. That doesn't change, but the little small details within side of the market in lower views is when you start to see different key levels, key information, and data that you'll be able to tell to make an efficient, educated guess on what the market could be doing next. But with this said, you see this one, it's going up, the trend's going up, but you also see all the other things that's going on. So let's just mark this out. I mean, in reality, this is lower. Sometimes you see people mark things differently, but how I mark it is just really kind of quick. I mean, it's obvious. This here This is a down point. Even though there's stuff happening right here, technically, this is a low point. You can kind of see the different low points as you go up with this whole incline. This whole thing is an incline. You can see the trend of it going up. So that is what it is. You see with your eyes, it's going up. You can see with the numbers, it's going up. So you know that. So with that said, again, this is a high point right here. Let's go ahead and circle this. That's a high point. We got this low point right here. Then from here, it's going to go up to its next high point, which I'd say is ultimately this group. I'd put it right. You can see it's doing more, but we're just going to go ahead and mark the higher view of this and talk about the lower view later. So when you mark this, you can see the high points, you can see the low points, you can see what the market's doing, and there's some other key things you can see in here as I'm marking this this chart with just some of the basics of what's going on with it. So if you do that, you can see the market. And each one of the parts, here's one point right here. I'm gonna go ahead, and I've seen this and I've heard sometimes they say this is not like a good low point, but I mean, come on, you can see that this low point is lower than this low point, which gives you the whole upwards trend. The whole structure of the market is a basic pattern as this high point right here, this low point right here, another high point right here, another low point right here, high point. I wish there was a quicker way to do this. I just don't know. I'm just new to this Thinkorswim actually, and moving over to stocks actually. I've been in crypto market for a long time, so using these tools is a little bit different for me, so I apologize for that. But regardless of anything, the market structure, how you know it's going on an upward trend, is what you will hear people talk about is higher highs and higher lows. So in order to see that the market is trending upwards, you have to have higher highs and higher lows. What does that mean? This high point, which is lower than this high point, higher highs, I didn't circle that, and higher lows. This low point is lower than this low point, so this is a higher low. So you'll hear people say higher highs and higher lows. That's how you see the overall trend of the market is going up. Now, what we're going to do is now kind of talk about seeing it in the opposite direction. So we have all this here. Let's go ahead and move into a lower view. And the main reason why is because I don't feel like getting more data to go over that. I can actually, I need to pause this because it's actually running. And I want to practice some strategies with that, so I don't want it to run. I don't want to see what it's doing. And then from here, let's go to, we are at the day. So at the day, a good down view from the day. I believe 12 hours should be looked at 30 minutes, and I believe 1 day should be looked at 1 hour. So I'm going to pull down to the 1 hour view. I think that's comparable for it. So like here, we're going in here and you can see an overall downwards trend. So it starts here, and this is something else where with analysis, as you get to understand the market and stuff more, you'll understand what's going on right here. But we're just gonna, I'll talk about that kind of in a second. But ultimately, we have a downwards trend right here, and you can even see the line from a higher viewpoint, top-down analysis, where I can see that there's a downward trend right here. So, but when you get into, when you take the view and you decide to go into a lower view and get more details, just like I am right here, you'll start to be able to see more things happening with the market. Whatever you see at the higher view, that trend of it going up is going to be some type of run underneath here, where you'll see that it's still the same up and down, up and down. It does the same thing at the lower levels. It does not change. All it does is give you more data and more information to find a more precise sniper point for your entry into the market. That's the key. Having the most efficient entry point so you can get the most out of your money that you are investing. That's one of the biggest keys in this whole thing with understanding the market. So in this situation, since we're at a lower view, let's go ahead and just talk about this downward part of the structure. Okay, we're going downwards. You can see, just like the other stuff, the different points. I'm just gonna mark some of these. I'm pretty sure you probably already saw it after I came down to this view. I'm pretty sure you saw it, because once you start seeing them, it becomes really, you should be able to start seeing it, and what I say, people say structure, this is where I'm gonna say pattern. You're gonna see this pattern, the same pattern, no matter where, no matter the view you look at. There is some way to find this pattern if you just look at it in very different views, and basically it's all on your analysis when it comes to it. I'm just going to mark that high one there, because technically when you think about it, you want to go down to more lower views to see what's going on. For example, this point right here. This point right here is identical to this point, this area that you're seeing right here, where this high point is lower than this high point. So let's move on to one of the next parts of the market structure. Market structure has different things that take place when you get into the lower views to be able to see what's going on. Once you go to one of the lower views, you should be able to see different things like consolidation, or you'll start to see this is basically one of the keys to market structure that you can kind of pay attention to. This right here, this area right here, when you notice that the high point changes, when this high point is lower than this high point. In reality, on a full downward slope, which this is kind of gets into the whole picture of how I was marking this area as one whole low point. So that's another thing. But when you're analyzing the data, this was probably, let's see, I'd have to look, or did I didn't mark that. But basically different low points you'll see. This is a high point. This is technically, it's doing something. There could have been something in the market, but this is a low point. This is a high point. So in reality, the whole point is trying to figure out when the market's going to have a shift. There's a shift in the market. That's the whole key to this. And the main ways that you're able to tell is by basically looking at, so the pattern for it going down, let's talk about that really quick. Let's mark the high points. You could see the same thing, but the opposite of what I was saying when it comes to, and again, we would have to actually go down lower to be able to have a discussion about this, but this is actually, high lows, higher lows, but technically these points right here, the market can do whatever it does when you go on a lower view, but technically that's why you do a top-down analysis, so you already know that it's going in that direction, and all you're really doing is just really get into the nitty-gritty details of what's going on when you get into one of the lower time frames, which, as you can see, they have the same up and down pattern here too. The structure's the same. So anytime that you're looking at something, yeah, you'll see something, that same pattern that you're seeing on the view that's up at a higher view, but at the same time, that's when you've got to pay attention to notice that there's different things happening in the market telling you, hey, this is a good time to pay attention, or maybe do some more analysis to see if there's going to be a shift. But at the same time, maybe you're getting anxiety because you have a play, and all of a sudden you see something like this where there's a big drop in it, but overall, if you take it a higher view, you'll see that it's still a downward trend. So you can kind of calm down, it can help you calm your nerves or something like that. But ultimately, this right here is a low point. The previous high point's right here. This high point's higher than this one, and ultimately tells the downward slope. But from here, we also want to talk about it on a lower view, where you're seeing the same higher high points, or lower high points and lower low points. Same exact thing with here. Here's the low point. There's a low point. This area is the same thing with what I was explaining over here. I basically ultimately kind of call this as the low point here. So let me just go ahead and just circle that anyways. I'd call this a low point. So no matter what, it's going down. You see the slope. You have to use your eyes and you have to make sense of it, because sometimes it's hard if you don't take the top-down approach. But here we go. This is the end of actually where it is, January 2023. So I don't know what the price does here, but this is where you can tell that the market's about to have a shift. And basically with market structure, you can see when it does, it starts to make this little wedge. You can kind of like put points of well, it probably goes all the way up there. So if I was doing it all the way up there, the trend line would probably be something like this, or boom. I can't go down, so I'd still hit this point. So you can tell that the market is almost coming to a point where there's going to be a change. There's going to be a shift. Something's going to happen, and this pattern, this structure that you see is starting to change. Here's the higher high. Here's the lower high point. Same thing with lows, but you can see that that gap is changing. So we're gonna key into this area right here, and let's go down to a 15-minute view. Let's see if actually it's too big. Let's back up. Okay. This is at the very end of the structure, and you can see actually it's about to, it might just start to form a head and shoulders in here, but I kind of don't, that stuff is okay and understanding and all that, and actually that's how I trade in crypto, but I'm seeing different strategies will help you read the candles better, because all this stuff, hammer, upside down hammer, or almost a doge, but basically going up, you can tell different things, and it's good to know what candles do, but at the same exact time, from my experience and how much money I've won and how much money I've actually lost, the strategies make sense, and using these tools will help you a lot better is what I can say. So here, anyways, let's get back to here. So this right here is a small little downward slope. You can see that the trend was going down, but it's also, you can see that it's kicking back up now. It's starting to go back up. This thing just does not click when I tell it to sometimes. So it's going back up. So that's the overall, you can see the trend down, now it's trending back up. So here's the run down, here's the run starting back up. Every trend has runs. So, which is ultimately, I think, was a trend at the higher level is a run at the lower level. And you can get into the details of all that, but in here are the details technically. So that same pattern that I've been doing, here it is again. You're just gonna see this. I'm gonna beat this over your head because you just gotta realize this. And part of the reason why is because if you're like me and don't have good patience, then when you first enter into doing stuff like this, you're gonna make some very bad moves. You'll have some wins, yeah, you'll have some wins, and you may have some really good wins. I mean, I can attest to that. But at the same exact time, the goal is to be profitable. No matter what move you make, no matter what trade you take, no matter what position you take, the main point is to be profitable. Taking any loss, you don't want to give any money back to the market. You don't want to make a mistake and have to lose a position and lose money. It's just wasted time. And the more you think about it, the saying time is money, that's what this stuff basically shows in even more detail. Time is money. It looks like there's a consolidation here, and this is almost an engulfing, but close enough to make me think that we're gonna have some retract here. It's gonna retrace something and keep going up is what I'm thinking here, but we'll see. I'm gonna play around some strategies, but as you can see, the same exact pattern is here. But you remember, this thing is all of a sudden going back up. So why is that the case, you ask? Yeah, I asked the same thing. In all due honesty, it took for me to get to the stock market, start educating myself more on strategies and stuff, start paying more attention to the stuff that I saw before, but didn't actually have I didn't understand the language. I didn't understand what it was. You put a whole bunch of lines on there. Some things I understood, but at most, I'd use like the Bollinger Bands and call it a day. And that stuff works and it's cool, but your percentages of winning is not as high as when you really understand the market. You can do good analysis and you can see what's going on and be confident in what you're looking at, because in the end, it's your eyes. You have to use your eyes. Everyone has eyes. Everybody, you have to have eyes to be able to see something. So you have to be honest with yourself about the market, or you pay for it in your pocket. So there's nothing you can do about it. It is what it is. You can't believe some company's gonna do X, Y, Z or whatever and put your money in there and really expect them to do it, because you are gonna be the person holding the bag and mad that you lost that money. So pay attention to this and just realize it is what it is, and understanding that what goes up always, if there's a buy and sell market, always goes down. Nothing always goes up and never comes down. Well, things that go up like that and don't seem to never come down usually take a really, it's usually a price correction and people are pissed. So be wary of that stuff and stuff, because there's stuff like fair value gaps and stuff like that as you educate yourself on the market, you should educate yourself about it and understand different stuff like the fair value gap. The fair value gap, which is also another strategy that people talk about in regards to order books. And everybody has their stuff, but I've kind of refined that thought a little bit more and with that. But yeah, order books is another advanced topic too. But anyways, let's talk about this again. I digressed and talked a little bit too much about it, but here, let's digress. All right, so we're just gonna talk about this area right here, call it a day, because I can go through explanation of this, but like I said before, you can see the high points and stuff and so forth there. Sometimes you gotta pay attention to the market and see the pattern and understand that that's still going there, and to do that is top-down analysis most of the time. Top-down analysis, so that when you come to hear something like that and the market's sitting here telling you something like that, you say, shut the hell up, I figured that crap out already. You ain't gonna get me to be stupid. Because the last thing you want is to be dumb enough to see that and react on it down at this level when you clearly see it's going down. And then what happens to your money? Smart money, smart moves. That's all that matters. Being profitable. That's all that matters. Anyways, here, as I said, the market's coming to, you can see the wedge forming. Here's the high point. Here's the high point. And then it shoots down. It shoots down right here. You know something's going on, and ultimately it still has the lower low points, and you see it coming, and it's a lower low point. But right here is what is called a break of structure. This little area right here is a break of structure. Why is it a break of structure? Because technically, I mean, in reality, I mean, it's closer. You can see that it's doing it. I look at this this wick, and you can kind of see the wick, and you can see it's higher than this, but in reality, basic common sense, you can see the patterns going up. You can see that this point right here, in reality, is kind of, the high point is kind of right around here. In reality, it's right around here, which is lower than this high point right here. That's how you know there is a shift in the market. That's one way to tell. And you can find this same pattern on lower views to even get a better sniper position, in which I'm pretty sure it's going to go up. Who knows how many days it'll go up and how long it'll go up. That's what analysis is for, and that's what understanding the market and what it's doing to be able to see. Now, again, see this higher high point, lower high point, lower low point. Same thing with the lower low points. It's still doing the same down here to the lower low point. It's going to sort of lag. I wish there was a fast way to do that. This stuff's annoying. And then the next low point is right here. This is your confirmation, your validation point right here. This is right here giving you the idea and understanding analysis to know that the market's changing. Destructure. This is called a break of structure. For me, I'm just going to tell you straight up. To me, out of how I see and how I read the market and how I understand, I'm going to say it's a changing pattern. So on my charts, in some charts, you'll see triangles in those areas on my charts, because that's a change. That's when the change is happening. The structure of the market is changing, and it's going to start showing you different signs. That's going to tell you whether or not the market or that whatever you're looking at is going to go up or if it's going to go down. Smart money. Smart money. Buy when the market's down and follow it on up. But at the same time, if you get into, which I'm still getting into, options and so forth like that, you can use different strategies to be able to find, oh, this is about to go down, and since it's a downward thing, maybe you can make a buy position here, and maybe it'll go down a little bit more, so you can make, well, with something like this is like, I think this is probably close to the bottom already. So I think this is the ultimate sniper point to make 40 pip gain right here. And if you, depending on how big your lot is, I think you know how much money that can be. If you held that, if you have diamond hands, you must have diamond hands. And
Nowadays, everybody wants quick money, so you sure, yeah, the market, most likely the market, you want quick money, and if you're too new at something, you're gonna get impatient or something, or maybe it even retracts some, and you get scared, and you go ahead and sell, and then it just says, oh, it shoots right back up. You never know. But the whole idea and key to everything is understanding the market so that you can point out different changes in the structure. You can see the overall pattern, and when you can see the actual trend as well, and actually use stuff like this so that you're smart enough to know what the overall trend of the market is. And then you can go down to lower views to take a look at the run and make even more analysis so that you can understand the market that much better. You can make smart moves, and you can find that sniper point so that you can make that money that you want to make. So I hope this video helped you. I hope this was enough information so that you can understand the stock market a little bit better, and maybe help you with the sales, with the buys and sales and options or whatever that you do, make money so that you can have a better life. It's all about helping out others and making sure you have a better life. There's many ways to invest your money, many ways to get money, but the best thing that you can do is to help yourself and make sure that you do all that you can do and educate yourself the best way that you can so that you can make money and you can have a good life. Especially in times like this, it's about learning how to make the most of your money. So I hope this video helped you out, and I'll share more videos from time to time to show you exactly what I'm doing, and hopefully, well, I won't show exactly what I'm doing because in reality, I'm really spending a lot of time, and then at the same exact time, I wouldn't. I'd hate to hear that what I'm doing is, or I give it to somebody, and the next thing you know, it's I'm doing stuff that they just didn't comprehend, and then they just really messing up their stuff, and I really don't want to see that or feel responsible for that. So we'll see how much of I share, but I'll share different strategies and stuff inside my Discord and stuff for people to take a look at, just basic strategies so you can cultivate yourself and help yourself so that you can make your life that much better. Again, thanks for watching. Yeah, like and subscribe if you want, and thanks. Catch you next time. Runtime out.